Perry, how many hours do you play a video game a week?
Probably 15 to 20 hours a week.
Okay, Jesse?
Yeah, probably about the same, 15, 20.
Probably more than this. Like, if I'm not playing or the whole day playing video games, so 10 hours, like 50 or more.
50 plus hours
a week,
Okay,
like, more or less.
a week. Archie?
Probably around 20 hours a week.
Hey.
Me probably like 8-10 hours most.
8-10 hours? Okay.
Yeah.
Perry, based off your experiences with Grand Theft Auto, how do you feel emotionally after playing GTA? Can you remember?
I kind of feel excited after playing GTA. Like if you've been trying to do a mission for a long time, or you like shoot some people up, it kind of gets you going a bit.
So you would say you have adrenaline.
Yeah, sometimes I can be quite pissed off though. Like
Yes.
if you've been trying for hours to do something and you can't, you get kind of angry, you know?
Okay. Do you, when you get angry, would you take it out in the game, like by going like?
Yeah, sometimes I just go around running people over or just
And that like
shooting
made you
people.
relaxed and calm.
Yeah, it kind of release that anger.
Jesse, emotionally after playing GTA?
Yeah, I just feel generally fine. Just normal, you know. Just
So you wouldn't say that like it wouldn't affect you at all, like after playing it. So if you were playing it for 2 hours straight, would you feel any way different?
No, usually I play a video game for an hour or two. You just play it and I don't
So
know,
it'd be
it's
like
something-
playing a FIFA, or
Yeah.
just because there's violence in it, it wouldn't affect you emotionally.
No, because that's the aim of the game.
Okay.
Like if it was.
So you knew what it was going to be like
Yeah.
before you started, so it wouldn't affect you.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelly?
Like Jess said before, I don't think you get affected by the things that happen inside of the game. You know, like when you're running over someone or stealing something. I think it's more like the goals that you like outside the game you have to reach. So if you're trying to do a mission for like 1 month, 2 months, it's hard, and sometimes you're really close to do it and you can't. I get so pissed, but it's not like because of what is happening in the game, but it's because I want to do it in the same in the same way when I pass a mission, when I'm trying, I feel so happy. And yeah, like something really good is happening in my life, and it's not. It's just a game, but but like the things that happen inside of the game, like when it doesn't affect me in my life. I think I get pissed because someone stole me.
You're basing it, so you're saying it would just be frustration from not getting the mission.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like the violence that's in the game itself. It would be just frustration for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any effects really. Just I play it if I'm bored, and then I just carry on playing.
So like,
You know, like it doesn't affect my outside life. Doesn't have anything to do with whether I play on the game, or it doesn't affect after that.
so like, since there's so much like shooting and like you can kill people easily, do you feel like after, just say you went around and shot a bunch of people, it would be fine for you to stop the game, and then you wouldn't feel like angry or like
I don't shoot people in the
happy?
game. I don't
Right.
shoot people in the game because I want to shoot people outside the game.
Oh, okay.
It would be just that's what the game's about. It's not real life.
Okay.
it's-
So you don't, because you can see how easy it is to shoot someone in the game, you wouldn't then in real life, once you put down the game, you think it's like, well, it's not that bad, like it's easy to shoot someone.
No,
You wouldn't take it with you.
no, it's not that. It's just a game really.
What?
I mean, Grand Theft Auto is not one of my favorite games, so I basically just play to have fun, like running the car, shooting people, but it doesn't affect me because I'm not into the game. I'm just playing like for 10, 15 minutes and I get sick of it and then change the games. Like other games, I can get like frustrated as my brother and mad if I don't play the mission. But I never did the career mode in GTA. Like I never tried to, so I
So
don't
you
know.
just, it didn't
Yeah, I
appeal
just
to you.
take the control for 10 minutes.
And was it because there was too much violence in it that it didn't appeal to you? Or like,
No,
what
just
was it?
because the game doesn't appeal to me. Like I like more sports games, so
Okay, so you don't really like fighting
yeah, I
games.
don't think like.
Is it because like all of the blood and like people dying and
No.
stuff in it, or is it just because it's just not something you're into?
Yeah, it's just not like the type of game that I would like waiting to accomplish and stuff.
Alright, back to you, Perry. From playing GTA, you said you don't feel emotional, but do you think it desensitizes real life? So, like, the sense that, do you think, as I said to Archie, do you think it's, once you can rob a car so easy in this game or kill someone, do you think it's easy, once you walk away, like, you see it in real life, it looks just as easy?
I think it does to a certain point. Because like obviously now at my age, I understand killing's wrong and stealing a car is going to get you in trouble. But I think growing up like from 12 to 15, that sort of age, like you go out and kill someone in a game, you might suddenly think that if you shoot someone, they're going to come back to life in real life, you know. So and then with carjackings, like you might think that you can just chuck someone out of a car and drive their car away for a bit. Like it makes it very simple to do it. And again with the prostitution, like I think it kind of makes that seem normal when in real life it kind of isn't. So I think, but to a certain point it does desensitize stuff. But I'm not sure it would influence you to do it. You know.
Okay, so you're saying it's more of an age thing where you can define the barrier between real life and
I think so. Because obviously as a kid you don't actually know everything's right and wrong, and you don't understand the consequences to your actions. So I think the game kind of doesn't show the real consequences to what you do.
Yeah, pretty much what Perry said. I feel the game just simplifies crime. Like it shows a very basic view on how to steal a car or kill someone. And I feel that those who are uneducated, like the youth or those who have, you know, not gone to school or whatever, would think that this is how it's done and could go out and potentially do it. But those that have the general idea and have been brought up well are obviously going to know that stealing's wrong, killing's wrong.
Sorry?
Yeah, I kind of agree because for us, like we have an education, so we play the game, we know that it's just a game, things are wrong, and like.
Yeah, I agree. I think it all just depends on the age and the background of the person. If they're gonna, I mean, obviously, it makes it just seem acceptable, but it just depends on how old you are and your background.
I mean, like, as everyone said before, not for us because we're like educated people and stuff, but I mean, as the same way a movie like affects you, like for me, the game gives you cheats.
So you're saying like it could influence them because they got rewarded in the game, so you think they might take that into real life? Then they might do something bad. They might see the reward in it. They don't see the negative part of killing someone or anything like that. They just see the reward side of it.
Yeah, that's true. But like the most affecting thing for me is just like the tips they are giving to you. You know.
So it means like they teach you how to do it.
Yeah, they'll teach you how to do things. I don't know how to process to make drugs before I see, for example, Breaking Bad. And now I know, and I wouldn't do it, but I know that people might be following these instructions as the same as they would do GTA.
Based off the car thefts, just specifically on how you steal cars in this game, do you think it's the same in real life? Like, is that how you think they steal cars in real life?
I mean, I actually have no idea how you steal a car, but
if you had to think about it.
If I was to have to, I'd probably follow the GTA, because the only time I've ever seen someone steal a car was on GTA. So if it came to it,
that's the only experience you have to someone stealing a car.
So if it came to me stealing a car, I'd probably follow the GTA.
Okay. But if you heard someone stealing a car, would you picture that game? Like, if you heard, oh, my car was stolen, and then you tried to picture it, you would picture how stealing the car.
Probably because car theft is most related in my mind to GTA, because that's the most experience exactly. So if I ever hear of a car theft or a shooting or a police chase, my mind goes to GTA because that's what
Right, so you've however you've taken something away from the game.
Yeah,
even though you know it's not right, but you still learn.
Yeah, it's still left an imprint in my mind.
Jesse?
Well, I assume with car theft that people wouldn't want to be caught. If you go and open the door, punch someone in the face, drag them out, take their car, you're going to get caught. So I imagine that when people do steal cars, they wait till the car's, out of sight or something, then take it. But I guess if you're in need of a vehicle, someone stealing, something from your house and you need a vehicle, I guess that's how I'd go about it as well. I'd drag someone out of their car to go if I didn't have transportation too.
How?
I think most of the things, and a lot of things in the game, they reflect how it happens in real life. But these specific subject we were talking, stealing cars, I don't think so, because I've never seen, like Jesse said, someone stealing a car just dragging the driver out of the car, the driver running himself without fighting, and no guns sometimes. Sometimes you don't have a gun in the game. You just open a door, drag the guy, the girl out of the car, and they leave you
Yeah, I would say it's not really for me. I think I've seen movies, much more movies where they've hijacked a car or something like that, and it doesn't really, I wouldn't say Grand Theft Auto has an effect on. If I saw a car being hijacked, then I wouldn't.
You wouldn't relate it to the game?
I wouldn't relate to the game.
Okay,
Not
Perry said about like when he sees something, like he never seen anything. But if you one day he sees it's gonna reflect the game in his mind. For me, the opposite way, because I grew up in a place like a little bit more violent than Perry, so I've seen things. So when I see the game, it kind of just reflects me for real life. So I'm just kind of say, okay, they inspire like real events to create a game. It's the opposite way for me.
Do you think drivers are more aggressive, as in like road rage, in real life, or as it's based in the game? You know the way when you see it in the game that they drive like crazy and they crash into things, like based off what you've seen in the game and in real life, like what do you think is more aggressive?
I think the game's way more aggressive. Because like, to drive a car, you've got to be at least 18, and I feel at that age, you know what's right and wrong. So I think the driving of the car doesn't really influence people, because a 12-year-old's never going to drive a car, you know?
I feel the way that road rage is in the video game is definitely exaggerated compared to real life. Like, as you're driving on the highway, of course you're going to be like, oh fuck's sake, hurry up, blah blah blah, whatever. But you're not going to crash into someone or run over a fire hydrant or anything like that, because you know then there's damage to your vehicle which you have to pay for. You break broken laws, and you know it's not really worth it. It's fine to just let some steam out by yelling at your steering wheel or whatever.
But you wouldn't act as how you would act in that game.
Oh no, the cost is too much just for 30 seconds of anger. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's way more like, I think the game is more dramatic because it has to be fun, you know. And in the real life, besides psychopaths, nobody thinks it's fun for you to run over people and do a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, I think it's much more exaggerated in the game. There's more higher levels of road rage, and you don't really see that in real life. Like, no one would crash their car into someone else just because they're angry. Like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I think that's obvious as well in the games. I don't think people really would take that into real life situations.
I think like besides it is like the game is not like perfect when it comes to these things, because the things that you do like in your car, like in the road, if you do in real life, it's not gonna be possible. Like keep crashing your car and keep going. Like if you crash your car once, it's gonna stop. Like if you kill people, like if the police is following you, they're not gonna stop after like 30 seconds of like running. So the game is like it's not realistic in this point. Like you keep doing like bad things, even getting worse, and you can get rid of it. And it's impossible in real life. And the first thing you do like bad in real life, you're gonna have to stop. So